Welcome to Revolutionary Motion, where we show you tennis from a different perspective. In this video, we're going to explain to you how to use a lot of topspin on your one-handed backhand. Now, if you happen to play a two-handed backhand, we'll link a video up here for you where we explain the same thing for the two-handed backhand so you understand how to create a lot of heavy topspin as well. So let's go over to the one-handed backhand. So on the one-handed backhand, obviously our swing just uses one hand as soon as we let go with our left hand and we're trying to swing forward all the way across our chest and all the way up. Now, if we're trying to create more topspin on our one-handed backhand, we got to make sure that we have a little bit more wrist action, but our swing generically will still go forward and up. You won't feel a huge difference in how much your arm moves up in comparison to how much it moves forward. Okay, most of it happens in your wrist. You're trying to make sure that when you take your racket back down, you're dropping your wrist a little bit further, and that's what drops the racket. It's not that you keep your wrist straight and you drop your arm all the way to the bottom and now you pull your arm up with a stiff wrist. We need that wrist motion in order to create heavy topspin on our backhand side. So when we're swinging now, again, we're doing the same thing as on a ball that's a bit flatter. We take the racket back. Now we would let go and the wrist would drop, okay? We can obviously let go a little bit later if we want to, but we want to make sure that our wrist really drops the racket down. And then we're going to start to swing forward. And while we're swinging forward towards the contact point, that wrist bend will take care of itself as long as your grip is strong enough. So you're trying to straighten out that wrist through the contact point while you're swinging forward and up. And that in itself will already create a lot more topspin than if you're just keeping your wrist a bit straighter, a little bit flatter, and you're actually swinging forward through the ball the same exact way. Now let's take a look at the shot in full speed. Now make sure, guys, to watch my wrist here so you can see how that wrist motion, from that bent wrist to the straight wrist, really helps me to propel the ball upward and give it topspin. Now if we take a look here, we can clearly see how the wrist is still bent back and the racket is pointing down a little bit. In the next image here, the wrist has already started to straighten out, even though it's not completely done yet. In the last image, you can see how the racket moved above and through the ball with the wrist straightening out even further. And here you can see that progression one more time, going back and forth where the racket moves above the ball. And then obviously we included a couple of full speed images here so you can see the whole shot and how the ball bounces in full speed.
Hope you enjoyed this video. Please like and subscribe, and we'll see you guys soon.